This right here is an image of a bootleg you have probably seen at least once before. The Harry Potter Obama Sonic 10 bootleg backpack. This is a majorly iconic image. It honestly might be one of the most popular bootleg images to exist. I remember as a kid being so fascinated with bootleg products for some reason. I would always watch different videos on YouTube of people looking at rip-off knockoff materials and laughing at them. This Harry Potter Obama Sonic 10 backpack would come up so much, and it never really has fallen into obscurity. To this day, it is still brought up in discussion. So many different memes, mock-ups, videos, merch, and art has been made around this silly backpack. Some people have even remade the bag, and it actually looks really cool. It gets so much love online. Harry Potter Obama Sonic is also a cryptocurrency which has supposedly done 1 billion USD in volume. This cheap $10 bag has resulted in billions of dollars. That is just so funny and insane to me. It's crazy. The thing is though, no one knows where this image came from. Everything about it is a complete mystery. Who posted this image? What website did it originally come from? Who actually made this strange bootleg bag? Where is the place this bootleg got sold? And why is it designed this way? There are too many questions about this bootleg which are left unanswered. A question I want to know is, are there any other pictures of this bootleg out there? As far as we know, this is the only photo ever taken of the bag. What year is this image from? That is another question about this image that is unknown. TinEye is a reverse image search website many people use. It's unfortunately pretty unreliable and doesn't work too well. However, the oldest and earliest date this site brings up is February 2nd, 2010. What's weird is that it wasn't uploaded onto just one website this day. It was uploaded to a variety of different websites. No dates earlier, all being February 2nd, 2010. So if anything, doing a reverse image search just raises more questions. What led to this image being posted all around on this day? Knowing how faulty TinEye can be, there is definitely a good chance this image is much older than February 2nd, 2010, and none of these results are the first origin of this image. This image likely originates from 2010 or 2009. I definitely believe no earlier than 2009, as 2009 is when Obama became president, so that would make sense. I don't know, I would think it would be kinda weird if the bootleggers put Obama's name on this backpack when he wasn't even president yet. I would really love to know more about this image. I'd like to think that if the original page for where this image got posted was found, some context would be given by the user who took this photo, such as the location, if they bought it, if the bag had any info on it, who made it. I remember as a kid whenever I saw this image, I would wonder what the bag next to it said and had on it. Who knows, maybe the person who took this photo posted other photos of other bags they saw. Maybe there's other angles and separate photos of the Harry Potter Obama Sonic bag that just weren't archived. Who knows? I wonder if anyone bought this bag and they have it just hiding away in storage, left forgotten about. This bag genuinely would be an insane collector's item.
과학기술의 힘으로 경제강국 건설의 전환적 국면을 열어나갈
Back in 2013, North Korea had released a government-approved tablet known as the Samjiyon tablet. In North Korea, as expected, you really aren't able to do a whole lot on this tablet. It has no internet access, it can't connect to the internet, only Korean state sites. However, the tablet does have a variety of different software and few applications you can use. There's a couple interesting games included too. One of these games included on the tablet was one that turned a lot of heads. On this tablet contains a built-in pirated port of Angry Birds Rio. After being put out for sale in North Korea, reviews and video footage of this tablet would begin to make its way into the outside world, and people noticed Angry Birds Rio was weirdly on this device. The game on this tablet is entitled as Angry Birds. It's translated on this tablet as shooting a rubber bands or shooting elastic bands. It's pretty strange Angry Birds can be found on this North Korean tablet pre-installed, and a lot of news articles discussed this at the time. When Rovio, the company responsible for Angry Birds, had been asked about this port by the Washington Post, they responded saying that Angry Birds Rio has not been localized into Korean, and Rovio Entertainment has no affiliation with the version of the game being shown on the Samjion tablet. The game was straight up stolen by Rovio for this tablet. They had no idea about this, and how it exactly got on this is a mystery. I'm curious to know how much exactly has changed in this North Korean version of the game. From what can be seen in the little footage we have of it, the text menu, and some graphics have been changed. Any mention of Rovio or the name Angry Birds has as well been removed. According to the website North Korean Tech, apparently the game was likely reprogrammed by the North Korea Computer Center, the Pyongyang-based Computer Software Development Center, and the organization that produces the Samjion. The tablet is largely a software effort. The hardware comes from the vendors in China, and the North Korea Computer Center localizes the Android operating system and develops local applications. So yeah, very interesting. This pirated bootleg of Angry Birds Rio from the Samjion tablet is considered lost media, as obviously we can't get access to a North Korean tablet. It's very unlikely anyone will be able to get their hands on this bootleg port at all. There is a comment on the Lost Media Archive page which states, "This might be impossible to find since you can't root, send files, or modify files with the North Korean smartphones. And it's very dangerous getting your hands in some. Airane phones is super duper hard." Now, this next entry I talk about isn't specifically about one knockoff product or anything like that. But if you have purchased some cheap bootleg toy phone before, you probably know it very likely plays these sounds every single time, and iconically plays the song Butterfly by SmileyDK. It's about the sounds you hear on knockoff products. Almost every single person I know will understand what I'm talking about when I bring up this strange phenomenon. Every single person I know has grown up owning some bootleg toy that plays this song and sound effects. Why does almost every bootleg toy play these specific sounds? If you go to the official music video to Butterfly by SmileyDK on YouTube, every single comment is talking about this being on a cheap knockoff phone. I mean, from what I've seen, these toys aren't all made by the same brand and companies, and they appear to be literally everywhere. So what's the deal? This is a strange sort of mystery about bootlegs that I've been curious about pretty much my whole life. Maybe a lot of you have been wondering about this too. Doing some searches online, it's very obvious many people have also asked this question on Reddit and different forums. And the main answer most people usually give every time is that it comes from a separate electronics company who gives sound chips to manufacturers making toys. Someone on Reddit made a post about the bootleg sound, asking why this song is everywhere, and a user responded. My theory is a single Chinese electronics company produces all the sound chips, which are then bought in bulk by other manufacturers for use in their toys. Generally, Chinese toy manufacturers would be limited to producing just the plastic components of a given toy, and buy the electrical parts by some other company. It stands for reason that a single electronics company offered an inexpensive generic sound card for use in the production of cheap toys and trinkets made by other unrelated toy companies. Which also explains why a Batman phone, presumably marketed at boys, plays such a girly sound sample. A really nice explanation, definitely very valid guess which could for sure be correct. I've always questioned what the group SmileyDK thinks of this whole situation with their song being used on these phones and products. It's copyrighted, not free to use or steal, so has their label or something thought to or done anything about it? They for sure obviously have known about it, so yeah, I'm curious if they care at all. I wonder as well why this song specifically. Why was this song chosen and not any others? No variety or anything different at all when producing probably hundreds of millions of sound chips. I don't know, I thought I might as well include this topic in this video. It's a pretty interesting thing I've wanted to talk about for a while. What are your thoughts and guesses on this whole thing? Finally, I want to talk about what I believe might be one of the rarest bootleg cartridges to exist. A Famicom bootleg which no one has seen for decades. The Windows XP Famicom cartridge. In the early 2000s, there were several unlicensed Famicom and NES games released that replicated Windows operating systems. These included Windows 98 and Windows 2000 bootlegs. These ones have been played by many popular YouTubers and streamers and have been discussed online quite a bit. These bootlegs are actually incredibly well made too, which, I don't know, is pretty surprising. When you think of Famicom or NES bootlegs, you think of classics such as this or this, not very good stuff. Seeing these bootlegs have so much detail and care given to it, it's actually really nice. Among these unlicensed Windows 98 and Windows 2000 Famicom games is Windows XP. Unlike Windows 98 and Windows 2000 however, this Windows XP bootleg game has gone completely off the radar. It has legit gone missing and has never been officially dumped online. If it wasn't for some old resurfaced photos of the cartridge and some photos of gameplay, we probably wouldn't even know of its existence. I'm not actually sure where these photos originated from and who had taken them, but they go all the way back to 2013, so they seem to be legitimate. They show what the loading screen looked like, the BIOS screen, the main menu, and even the cartridge, which looks pretty cool. Also, it's speculated that this XP bootleg was created back in 2003, as the BIOS screen in this image states 2003. Windows XP was released in October 2001, so made around a year after XP's release. Maybe this cartridge is the only one that was ever made. Maybe it was made by some person for fun. That's why this cartridge has never really seen the light of day. I would perhaps believe that could be the case if it wasn't for a supposed eBay sale of this bootleg. Back in 2013, it was reported that a copy of this game had been sold on eBay for around $90 after 11 different bids had been made. The origin of this sale being Bangkok, Thailand. This is the first and only time this cartridge would be spotted out in the wild since these photos. This sale honestly gives me a lot of hope that there are copies of this bootleg floating around. I wonder if one day this copy of Windows XP will be found. For sure, one of the rarest bootleg cartridges to exist.